Hello, today we're going to talk about the top 4 things that I used to do that as an Etsy seller used to waste too much time that I have learned from. So I want to share those top 4 things with you and hopefully help you avoid some of the mistakes that I made. Let's get right into it. Number 1 thing that I used to do that really wasted a lot of time is I would create products, but I would not do any research for those products before I created them. And then after I created them, then I would do research to find keywords for them. And I have some really good examples on this page here. These are some expired listings that you can see have expired, some of them quite a while ago, and I've decided to not try to renew them at this time because there's not a lot of people looking for these particular items, and I still have some of these items stored away, and they're just sitting here gathering dust now because I didn't take the time to do a little research first, find the items that people are looking for that I want to create, and then create the items. So that's what I highly recommend doing. You can still have some success without doing it that way, of course. However, you're going to do a lot more, you're going to spend a lot more time searching for the correct keywords to use. Whereas if you find those right keywords, then you can really fit that item to those keywords better. So that's my number 1 thing that I really recommend you do to avoid wasting time. Another thing that I used to do a lot was I would use my phone for as many things as possible. I had a couple of reasons or excuses for this. One reason is that I live in an area that does not have good reception, especially internet. I don't have Wi-Fi at all. Created my own Wi-Fi. So basically, I live in an area that does not have regular Wi-Fi, so it's kind of hard to get great service on my laptop. However, it doesn't mean that you should do everything with your phone. Unfortunately, there are certain apps and programs that aren't available on your phone. There are also certain apps, their features are not available on your phone, as well as just regular things such as creating an Etsy listing. There are certain items that you can't see in there unless you're on your laptop or your desktop computer. And it's the same with Goimagine. Goimagine, a lot of things work fine on the phone, but for example, rearranging your photos in a different order, so you change which is your main listing photo and that type of thing, can only be done on a computer. So that's definitely something that slows you down. It creates some confusion, and it's just a time waster. The third thing that I have for you guys is, I wanted to say something else about the using your phone instead of your computer. Another thing when you use your phone instead of your computer is you don't have those copy and paste shortcuts that you have available to you when you're using your phone. So it's really nice to have those options to copy and... Shadow, get down. You're not allowed up there. All right, we'll decide if we're going to cut that out later. Another really handy thing with using your computer instead of your phone is copy and pasting, and also the copy and paste shortcuts. Control C, after you highlight words, will copy it, and then Control V will paste it somewhere. Most people know that, but if you don't, definitely look up. There's a lot of them out there, a lot of shortcuts on your keyboard that will help make things a little bit faster for you. And this isn't only for creating listings, it's also for creating social media posts. It can be used for a lot of different things. So the third thing that wasted a lot of time for me was multitasking too many things. It really slows you down when you're trying to do more than one thing at the same time. I'm one of those people that gets shiny object syndrome. So something out of the corner of my eye catches my eye. I'm like, oh, this would make a cool product. And I start playing around. And before you know it, I'm not doing the thing that I was trying to do at the beginning at all. And then I have 3 new products that are all 75% ready to go, but not 100%. And I have nothing, basically. So really focusing in on one thing at a time is pretty important. Every once in a while, there's certain scenarios where multitasking works. For example, for me, when I'm driving in my car, I can listen to podcasts or have a YouTube video on that's teaching me something. I'm not looking at the screen. I'm just listening to what the person is saying. And that is a multitasking thing that works for me. However, when it comes to creating products or actually creating a listing or a social media post, it's really important to not get yourself distracted, because the quality of work that you're going to have is going to go down a little bit. You're going to be more likely to make spelling errors, or you're going to be more likely to just mess up on whatever you're doing. So the 4th and final time waster for me is trying to save money. I was very big on trying to not spend any money getting my Etsy shop started. I was trying to cut corners as much as possible, spend as very little as I could, ordering supplies from China or from, certain bulk suppliers. One of the problems with the bulk is that you might end up with a whole bunch of something and then you can't sell any of it, and then you've wasted all that money on that bulk supply item. Another problem is the delay in shipping when something's coming from afar. So it's something to definitely consider when it comes to supplies. Also, with apps and programs that cost money, for example, Canva has a program, Canva Pro. Canva's free, Canva Pro is not. However, Canva Pro will remove backgrounds for you and really help you improve your photos a lot. And that's what I personally use. Some people have other programs they use, and some of them are free. And I used to use some free ones, and they technically worked, but it took me twice as long to get the same finished result, or maybe not even quite as good of a finished result, but it would take me that long just to try to get a picture that looked good, with the background removed and everything else. So it wasn't worth it in the long run to do that. And that's the same thing with buying cheap supplies, just avoiding spending money. It's going to generally cost you more time, and time is money. So you're decreasing how much you're spending, but you're spending a lot more time. It's not necessarily going to work out in the end. So I recommend trying to not do that whenever you can. So those were my top 4 time wasters that I really struggled with when I first started my Etsy shop. I've really improved those 4 things. What's your time waster? What's something that you've learned from? What's something that you want to improve? Everybody always says they wish they had more time. They feel like there's not enough hours in the day to get everything done. It's a very, very common excuse, especially amongst people who sell on Etsy and Goimagine and Amazon and you name it, wherever you happen to sell at. So I'm just interested to hear what's a time waster that you had, and how did you overcome it. So put that in the comments for me, and make sure to subscribe and like this video if you found it entertaining or helpful or interesting in any way. And stay tuned for more exciting videos and help with your Etsy or Goimagine shop. Have a good day.